many inconsistencies, there have been much too many inconsistencies in elections. If you remember last summer, there was inconsistencies in the Mike Duggan election. There was inconsistencies in whether ballots and absentee ballots and whether folks were writing, were forging absentee ballots. There were inconsistencies of whether Mr. Duggan should have ever gotten on the ballot or shouldn't have gotten on the ballot. So it doesn't matter about the candidate. It doesn't matter the campaign. The process is being compromised in Detroit. And we are standing against that. We're calling for a thorough investigation, and we're going to continue working on this issue until we get fair, clear, concise elections.
Are you concerned, Reverend, that the local process, the city clerk, county clerk, secretary of state, clerks can't sort this out? Why do you think there needs to be focus looking over the local process?
Well, first of all, clearly, I think there is, when we needed resolution, when they made us count bubbles in a jar, when we needed resolution, when they had grandfather clauses in local elections in the South, we turned to the federal government. And so we believe that the United States Department of Justice has we know that the United States Department of Justice has a department that can address this and that can give us some clarity on how to move forward. The United States Department of Justice definitely can play a role in making sure that the voting rights for Detroit is on clear.
Do you believe this is incompetency, or do you believe it's something illegal that's going on here?
It is absolute illegal. First of all, how can you admit that your office gave people bad raised seal forms, validating that they were registered to vote one day, come back with your signature on it, come back a day later, 5 months later, 3 days later, who knows, and then say, well, no, they weren't registered. That requires the eyes of the federal government, that it requires the eyes of the FBI and the United States Department of Justice, and we, the citizens of Detroit, we deserve, we need the help of the people's attorney, the United States Department of Justice. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
No justice?
No peace.
No justice?
No peace.
No justice?
No peace.
All right.
Reverend Williams, Reverend Williams, is there anything that you suggest that the people do or can do to get more involved and more informed? Is there anything you would like the people to know?
People need to get engaged. We need folks to make sure that they are paying attention to their forms, their voter registration forms. We need to make sure people are turning them in appropriately. And then people need to be ready to vote in August, and they also need to be ready to vote in November. But we also need people to make sure that they call on the United States Department of Justice to heighten the investigation and make sure that we have clear and clean elections in the city of Detroit.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Your name and your feelings behind all of this. What got you out here?
I'm Les Little. And what brought me out here today is the consistency that we need to get democracy established in this city. We've been corrupted in the election process for far too long. When we live in a democracy, the only account we have is our vote. And if we don't have that, then what do we have? Do we have to hit the streets? Do we have to do like other countries? Do we have to pick up weapons? The only source of free elections is freedom for democracy.
Thank you, Brother Lester. I love you. Thank you very much.